After last night's GOP debate, conservatives weren't exactly happy that their candidates were asked actual questions. Now, some of the reaction comes from RNC Chairman Reince Priebus, who lambasted the network by saying that CNBC should be ashamed about how they handled the debate. Now, numerous candidates also complained during and after the debate. If you can remember, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio, of course, saying that the media is Hillary Clinton's giant super PAC. Now, there's some issues that I have with that because I think that it's wrong, but in a different way. And I'll have to explain that some other time. But you also had Ted Cruz, as I said, calling out the media. They were not happy with CNBC. And they were not happy, of course, they're never happy with establishment media. Now, they say also that they did not ask enough substantive questions. Now, that leads me to ask them, well, what do you think is a substantive question? Well, they asked about their tax plans. There were some pretty good questions. There were some poor questions as well. For example, something that I disagreed with, personally, my criticism is that they didn't press hard enough when it comes to the issue of marijuana. They were in Colorado. Don't you think that was an important question to ask or to follow up on? I mean, they asked Governor Kasich, and then they kind of moved on. They kind of forgot about it. Another thing I would have liked to have seen more of is more of a discussion on student debt. I think that's a super, super important issue. But overall, I think most of the questions were fair, especially when it came to, hey, you said this, what do you think? As I said, it seems very fair. Now, nonetheless, conservatives not happy about this. The voters and the candidates, of course, publicly coming out to denounce it. So the moderators themselves decided to go on hardballs with Chris Matthews to defend themselves. Now, I've got a clip of that. Let's watch.
The challenge of television interviews is you can ask the question, and the person who answers it can turn it into an adversarial discussion. And there is no referee to come along and say, you're right. So you have to sort of somehow get them in their answer to acknowledge they're not answering it or give you the answer. But I noticed tonight they were doing different things than that. They were just saying, we're right, you're wrong. Well, they just dictated the verdict, and they were the winner.
There were a lot of conservatives before the debate who were urging them to go hard after the media, and that's what they did.
Where was that?
Oh, I was seeing a lot of that online on Twitter, articles saying that they were anticipating a debate that was unfair to Republicans. But
well,
look
Trump
what
was saying that all over the place.
Well, sure, but look what happened. Donald Trump came out on the campaign in the debate, denied that he had ever said anything, and
thank God,
finally
found the material
that said that it was on his own website. You know, Senator Rubio said to me that I had misstated something about his tax plan. That was not true. I didn't misstate it about his tax plan, and as I explained to him, provides greater after-tax income gain for the top 1% than the middle.
Sharon, this tells me that the next time around is going to be even tougher for the reporters. I mean, because if they think they can buffalo a reporter, even a reporter with the facts, they're going to buffalo them. Just whack them out of the way and hope the time will run out.
They're hoping that people don't really care about the facts, and I think they're wrong about that. If you talk to the students here at the University of Colorado, they care about student debt. They want to hear what these candidates have to say about it, and the fact that they kind of gloss over the issue is something that really matters to them. If they want millennial votes, if they want votes of a wide range of people in the electorate, they're going to have to answer the tough questions.
All right, so something that I want to pick out about that, and the very last part, they're hoping that people don't really care about the facts, and I think they're wrong about that. Well, look, I'm a little bit more cynical than Ms. Epperson. I don't think that crowd cared at all about facts. Remember, they did let Ben Carson get away with a whopper of a lie about his connection to Manatech, and I'll get into that later. But here's the thing. Conservatives attacking quote-unquote mainstream media, which is actually corporate media, and they have their own bias, is that's a conservative staple. Conservatives like, the media is against us. The media is against us. They're always against us. The only media that we can trust is Fox News. Unless you're Donald Trump, in which you get mad at Fox News when Megyn Kelly asks you a terrible question, or what you think is a terrible question, remember, she was bleeding from her wherever. Right? So even on Fox News, when they ask you a tough question, they still whine about it. But let's be clear, the media is biased. Just not in the way that they are saying that it is. They're actually biased towards corporations, towards profit. And I think personally that some of these questions were a bit combative for a purpose. Well, they want to get more ratings. Remember, you had the last debate that was on, I believe it was on CNN, that posted huge ratings, huge. The Dem debate, probably somewhere around 15 million viewers. That's a lot of ad revenue. That's a lot of money for the media. So, no, it's not a liberal bias they have. It's a corporate bias. And look, Ted Cruz had a little bit of a kernel of truth, as much as I hate to say it, and that it was really good for CNBC and some of these media outlets to make the candidates fight. It's really good for headlines, and it's really good television. That said, I don't think it's so much of a liberal bias as more of a bias towards making tons of money. But of course, I think CNBC might have fallen flat on that. But they will do what it takes to make money. Now, conservatives, as I said, they ignore that and say it's a left-leaning bias. Well, when it comes to facts also have a left-leaning bias. And if you're part of a party that makes its living by actively ignoring the facts, then I guess when it comes to dealing with media, well, they're going to kind of have a hard time dealing with outlets that actually want to report on reality and ask tough questions.